I can tell you a story about board breaks, right? So the way we do board breaks, has anyone ever done a board break, a karate board break? Anybody done karate, black belt karate and broken boards? You have? So you know what's the training is involved. It's actually, there's a lot of training to get in the state to be able to break a board on a single break, yeah?
We did not training, we just like kept hitting it.
Well, if you just hit it, it hurts. You got to do it right. You got to get the energy right. You have to transmute energy. So anyways, the point is that in an ideal world, you'd train for 7 years before you'd break boards or concrete bricks. Now, what a lot of they do in the dojos nowadays is they use really, really thin plywood boards. They're about 6 millimeters thick, and they're really easy to, you can snap them with your hand. You can just go like this and they'll snap. So they're easy to break. But typically they use 3/4 inch solid wood boards, and they do take some force to break. But it's more about the mindset and the follow through and the energy you put into that breaks the board. Does that make sense? Now, so I've done lots of board breaks over the years. And I remember I did a training once, and one of the guys in the training said to me, can you actually do a motivational event for my team, my football team? So he was a coach of the under 21 soccer team in the west of Ireland. It wasn't soccer, it was Gaelic football, but his football team. And he asked, could I come down and do a motivation event? Because they're bottom of the league. They're always, they're just, their heads in the wrong place. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So we did a full day event. And, so we decided to do it on a Saturday morning. So lesson number 1, don't do motivational events on Saturday morning if most of the players drink on a Friday night. Right? Just a little tip. I march in Saturday morning and I tell John what sort of boards I need. So I said I need 3/4 inch solid 12 inches wide. So 12 inch planks, and you cut them into 12 inch chunks. So they're square boards, 12 by 12 and about 3/4 inch. So it's actually quite hard to get solid wooden planks that are 12 inches wide, because a lot of the boards are about 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches. But to get 12 inch ones, they don't make them that often. They're kind of hard to get because they warp, right? So what did James do? Or not James, what did John do? John actually went out and he actually bought laminated windsills. You know, windowsills. They're about 2 inches thick and they're laminated, which means they're reinforced, okay? And they're about 10 times harder to break than the normal wood, right? So I walk in and there's like 20 guys there. Sorry, I walk in and the guys are turning up in 20 minutes. And then I'm told, John says, the boards are over there. You should want to check them out. And I went over and I see these boards and just all the color drains in my face. And I said, oh shit, I'm not even sure if I can break these boards, right? So anyways, John goes out and I grab one of the boards and I put it between 2 tables and I go, poof! And I whack my hand off the boards and I nearly broke my hand. My hand is not going through these boards. I'm fucked. Oh, this is really bad. Right? So anyways, I put that out of my mind, got into trainer state, and we started doing the whole stuff. And it's all about motivation and energy and goal setting and stuff like that. And it was really great. And we did the first half of the morning. First exercise, we do this thing to raise your energy. It's called hard breathing. So you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out long, exhale, and you go, right. So I was in the middle of a circle. There's 24 guys around me. They've all been out the night before. They breathe in, okay, and they breathe out, and all I get is the smell of whiskey and beer. Just drown. It's like, God Almighty, it's incredible. So, anyways, we got through that. Did the whole thing. We got to the end of the lunchtime. We had a lunch, quick lunch, came back, and we did the warm up for the boards. And I knew I had to get everybody into a really, really peak state, because I knew cold, I could not break that board. I could not break that board for love or money in a normal waking state. So I had to get really energized. So normally what we do for about 15, 20 minutes, I did for 2.5 hours. So we did 2.5 hours of energy work and breathing and sort of screaming and yelling and all sort of stuff like this to get me really psyched up, almost like the final of the biggest match you've ever been to, and they're really in this peak state. And then we started breaking boards, and I did the first board and I demonstrated the board and I smashed through it, and it was easy. I didn't even feel it. It says, oh wow, this is great. At least I can do it. So that's good, right? And then we started doing it. Everybody broke boards. And one of the guys was the son of the instructor, and he was 7 years of age, and he broke a board. And these are all 2 inch thick laminated They're about 12 inches thick. I couldn't believe it. So it is one of the greatest examples of sometimes, even if you don't believe something, you just got to go with it and make it happen in order to get the result that you want.